Welcome back to another episode of No Rules, Random Thoughts of a Swiftie. I'm your host, Brianna Peters. Today I'm very, very excited because I feel like what this podcast is doing for me is taking all of these random Taylor thoughts that I have and finally expelling them from myself. I feel like I hold on to these thoughts because I haven't really fully processed them or talked about them. And if it's doing anything like that for you too, I sure hope so, because it's pretty good. I'm really excited about the one today because this is one I've been hanging on to for a minute now. Before we jump in, I just want to say thank you for watching. If you're watching on YouTube, you can find it under the same channel name, No Rules, Random Thoughts of a Swiftie. If you sent anything into me yet, I am still in the pre-recording phase. I haven't actually even released yet. That's a little bit of a timeline for you, but I just want to say preemptively thank you to anybody listening. You can find it on all the places, Apple, Spotify, all your regular places. But if you've sent anything in, thank you so much. I already know future me is having such a wonderful time reading through what you've sent me. And you can send anything, all your random thoughts, to me via email, and that's going to be at norulesswiftiepod@gmail.com. You can actually find the podcast on Instagram and TikTok under the same handle at norulesswiftiepod. I'm available to be found those places. I'm pretty boring, but feel free to come find me and talk to me over there. You can find me at Brianna May Peters. And yeah, let's get into it. Okay, so I just make sure I started my timer because I already know I could go long. Today, we're going to talk about why I think Taylor Allison Swift should write, direct, and potentially even star in a full-length movie adaptation of her song, Cowboy Like Me. Just let that sink in for a sec. I know you agree with me. Anybody who's heard Cowboy Like Me from Evermore knows that song, even if it's not your favorite, has magic in it. There's something about it that is so visceral. It's easy to feel like you're a part of whatever world she's created. It feels very real for some reason. It's so crazy. As I was thinking about this podcast and this episode specifically, why I wanted to talk about this, I started analyzing why does this make me feel this way? And I listened to it and I was like, nope, stop. We're going to go through the lyrics today. But as soon as the first line hits, I'm like, that's it. That's why this song is so good. Just the first line. Because she says, and the tennis court was covered up with some tent-like thing. And is the key word here. She's starting us off by if Taylor Swift grabbed all of us up, moved us all over like a claw arm, and just dropped us into her thought process, into her story. We're starting off inside of it already. It's already happening. So to start a whole song with "and" is genius. I feel like it just immediately, you're there, you're in it. It's a story. She does storytelling amazingly, and she has beautiful songs across the board. There's a lot of songs that could be essentially turned into movies, but there is something to me about this song in particular that I see it. I visualize it. I can see the color palette of the movie and the moodiness, and I can see all the characters, and I want her to be in it. Of course, I want her to be the main star, but there's even a part of me that would sacrifice her being on screen if it meant that she wrote it and she directed it. I know that she has some movie that she signed on to do, but I highly doubt it's a full-length movie adaptation of this song, but it should be. Oh my God, I almost spilled my Starbucks. Anyways, that's the first line is, and the tennis court was covered up with some tent-like thing. Then we moved into, and you asked me to dance, but I said dancing is a dangerous game. It's going to be hard for me not to sing these lyrics, but I'm going to try my best because your ears and your eyes just don't deserve that. Saying dancing is a dangerous game. They've already met this character. I do feel like there's a lot of storytelling in this one. I know some of Folklore and Evermore were was it though? Was it storytelling, or were we dipping into our own experiences there But I do really feel like this one is a world she created, is something she was inspired by, and she just went all in. And from the tennis court was covered up with some tent-like thing, you immediately get party, like a fancy, rich party vibes, but somewhere that's like country, like Oklahoma. And it's fancy, but cowboy boots wouldn't be unheard of at this fancy event. There's like oil millionaires and billionaires there. So fancy, but country fancy. So after she says dancing is a dangerous game, it goes, oh, I thought this is going to be one of those things. Now I know I'm never going to love again. She's immediately recognizing the power that this person has and the effect that they have on her and how strong it is. And she just can tell, like, there's that kind of like instant connection / instant honesty. If you're able to be honest with yourself, like when you meet someone, you go, oh, this is gonna kill me. Like, I can already feel how intense this is gonna be, and I'm kind of still down for the ride, like, because there's never gonna be anything like this feeling. So I feel like that's where we're at in this part of the song. Going to a fancy party, she sees this person, he asks her to dance, and she's like, let's go. It's a dangerous game, but I'm willing to do it with you. And she can already tell, like, this is going to go down one of those paths where she'll never love anybody else like this again, or maybe even ever. We go into the next part. She says, I've got some tricks up my sleeve. Takes one to know one. You're a cowboy like me. So she's like, you're dangerous, you're powerful, but guess what? So am I. This is my game too. We're playing the same game. We're both swindling. We're both, hustling. We're both putting love to the side in order to be successful in this life and have the financials that we want. And it's like, I love it. That's why that honesty kicks in for her from the start. She's like, I can just already tell you're like me. And so she moves on to never wanted love, just a fancy car. Now I'm waiting by the phone like I'm sitting in an airport bar. So not only is she made this life something where she puts love to the side and she hustles and she swindles these people with money, but then when she does welcome it in, she's going so far, she's waiting by the phone for this person. Like, that's how hard she's fallen. Then she ends it up with, you had some tricks up your sleeve, takes one to know one, you're a cowboy like me. And we go into perched in the dark. Perched, why does that work so well? He wouldn't actually be like perched in the dark, but there's something about that word that, like, that just is why this song is so good to me. Perched in the dark. Like, I think perched is really more just like waiting to pounce, waiting to take advantage, waiting for the moment to strike. Like, and that's what con people do. They're like higher than the situation in the room that they're in. They're analyzing everything and they're understanding what is the best target for me to have success, whatever that success for them is. So he's just perched. He's like ready to pounce, which is exactly what she says in this next lyric, which is telling all the rich folks anything they want to hear. Like, it could be love. I could be the way forward only if they pay for it. So she's like, I see you here, perched, ready to go, ready to get these people. And she kind of ends that with, though, but I could be the way forward. Like, you and I could be exiting this situation together, exiting our ways, choosing each other, but let's make sure they pay for our life. Like, let's make this last one that pays for everything. And I do like how she changes that lyric up. That's a classic Taylor Swift move, is to redo the lyrics just a little bit to change the narrative of the story. And that is something that, again, just makes me feel like it takes you on a journey, her songs. And for some reason, again, it's this song for me that does it the best. Now we move into the second part. She says, you're a bandit like me, eyes full of stars, hustling for the good life. Never thought I'd meet you here. It could be love. I'm going to wait until we get to the next part because I just want to break that down. So she says, I recognize that you're like me. You have starry eyes. That's how people are falling in love with you and giving you their monies and their jewels and their everything. That's how you're getting these, rich ladies to hand over everything, because you have those types of eyes that just make people fall for you. So she jumps into like, we're both hustling for the good life, and she never thought she would meet her counterpart at this place. And I love how she changes that we could be the way forward, and I know I'll pay for it. And I do take that to mean like, I'm going to pay for it in some way. And it doesn't mean that that person is going to turn on her or hurt her. I mean, it could, but I could pay for it by like, I could be getting rid of this part of my life that financially makes everything doable for me and sustainable or riches. So I feel like there's some version of like, if I choose this life with you, I'm giving up something else and I'm paying for that in some way or another. Then we get to the bridge. A Taylor Swift bridge, and she says, and the skeletons in both our closets plotted hard to F this up. And the only part of this song that makes me think like, did she tap into a little bit like, I know she's got skeletons in her closet that resurface themselves and these people who try to take her down. And I'm like, maybe it wasn't exactly what she's talking about her life, but I do feel like this is the only part for me that I'm like, oh, she could have tapped into something there to get this bridge out. But inside the song and the story that she's created, I think what she's saying is like, there's a lot of people that we've swindled in and around this area. And if we choose to be together, they're going to come out of the woodwork. They're going to be like, don't trust him, don't trust her. They swindled me. They took this. And I think just people trying to ruin relationships that they're jealous of or they are mad about or whatever it is a real thing that exists. So whether you're this character in this story, or honestly, like real life, stuff like that can happen. She says, and the old men that I've swindled really did believe I was the one. Like, she did a good job. She made them believe she got what she needed. And I honestly love that. Like, in the story, I think that's amazing. Just to be like, they really believed it. I was good at my job. And then she says, and the ladies lunching have their stories about when you pass through town. Actually, this kind of reminds me of Dirty Dancing and how Patrick Swayze's character, like when he moved through the spaces on like that vacation place that they went to, like the women knew who he was. They sought him out. They're the same people that come back year after year, and like, that's a little bit what he did. Like, he would be with them romantically because he could and he had access and they wanted to, and then he would get paid, he would get money, like he needed it. So it just is interesting. This part for me is like really bringing up Dirty Dancing and just that feeling of like Patrick Swayze's character moving throughout those spaces. It's a little bit of like what I would like to see, but like a cowboy version of that in this movie. And we're still talking about that. We're going to come back. Anyways, she says, but that was all before I locked it down. And honestly, the melody, the way she sings this lyric is so good. I just urge everybody to turn off this podcast immediately and go listen to Cowboy Like Me and then come back. But it's so good. The way she sings is so lovely in this song. There's really no other way to say it. Like her voice, the storytelling, everything that she's doing and the way that she wraps up the verses and the bridges and gets back into the story is so amazing. The production on this one is top notch. There's a country element, of course, but it's not too much. There's no part of this that's too much. This song to me is a perfect song. She kind of jumps into this next bit, which is one of my favorite bits, and then she wraps up the song. So this is the last part. She said, now you hang from my lips like the gardens of Babylon. With your boots beneath my bed, forever is the sweetest con. I don't know why, but this part makes me want to rage. Like, I want to break something. I love it so much. Is that normal? I'm not sure. But all I know is that it is like ear candy. It's so good. The way she sings it, again, it's just like she's saying, now through everything that we've done, all the hearts we've broken, or all the people we've swindled, or all the people who now have their stories about us, like out of all of that, like you're the one hanging from my lips now. You're the one with your boots beneath my bed. Like you're the one I've chosen forever is the sweetest con. Just the way that that line fits so well in this song. One of my favorite little parts here of any Taylor Swift song, honestly, that bit. She ends it up with, I've had some tricks up my sleeve, takes one to know one, you're a cowboy like me, and I'm never gonna love again. I'm never gonna love again. I'm never gonna love again. So yeah, this is my plea to Taylor Allison Swift to please God turn Cowboy Like Me into a full-length film. I need backstories. I need side characters. I need people trying to ruin their relationship. I need some drama to unfold. It could be a little dangerous. It could have a little like, you know, where the crawdads sing, like that movie. There's a little danger in there. I could do with something like that, but I mostly just need this love story to be played out, and I just need her to do all the writing and the directing. And I know that's a lot of work, but I feel like she's good for it. You know, she can do it. That's it. That's all I got for this one. I'm so excited again to get this out of my brain, because I've just been holding this in for so long, and who knows, maybe I just spoke something into existence for us Swifties. It could happen. Yeah, I'm gonna head out now because I feel like I need everybody and myself to go listen to Cowboy Like Me. But I need you to tell me if you understand my craziness around this specific song. If this is a song you love as well. If Cowboy Like Me isn't a song that has like hit you yet like that, that's totally fine. Like tell me what songs off of Evermore specifically, because that's one of the best songwriting albums ever, that you would think would be good as a full-length film. I think there's a couple other ones in there, but I want to hear from you. So again, email me. You can find me on Insta, all the things, all the places. Check the description if you want to find the YouTube channel or the Gmail or anything like that. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.